Let's get into this this Florida parking lot shooting at a Walmart. So this is North Lauderdale, Florida. 62-year-old white man, Bart, I'm going to butcher this last name. It's DeGuglielmo. I think DeGuglielmo is his name. He's dead after he was shot by a black woman still unidentified. The shooting and much of the confrontation ahead of it was captured on video by witnesses. Witnesses say the two were arguing about a parking spot. There are a couple different angles of what happened. Excuse me. So video shows and witnesses say that the man first blocked the parking spot in question with a car or his car for a few minutes. Then he moved away, and the black woman pulls into that space, and she gets out of her car and she starts talking to other people who were nearby. And those people tell her, well, that guy you were arguing with, he's still in the parking lot. And then the man approaches, and as he approaches, she points a gun that she's carrying. And they talk for a minute or so. I don't know the exact timeline, but they talk for a relatively long period of time. It's not point and shoot. He eventually moves toward her, actually twice, which we'll see. And then she fires. And she was not arrested. She's actually not been charged. She is claiming self-defense. So here are a couple different reports that offer us, I think, a relatively complete look, or at least as complete as possible, about what happened here.
A deadly confrontation in a North Lauderdale Walmart parking lot off McNabb Road. Investigators with the Broward Sheriff's Office say Monday a woman and 62-year-old Bart DeGuglielmo were arguing over a parking spot when the woman pulled out a gun. Video provided by witnesses show the 62-year-old fall to the ground bleeding from his stomach area. The father of three would eventually die from his injuries. According to investigators, the woman claims she shot in self-defense. The video shows Bart and the woman going back and forth for some time as the woman is pointing a gun and on the phone. Police eventually arrive. You can see the woman with the gun talking to detectives. Amanda says her father should be alive and she wants to know what happened.
I'm hearing different things like on news sites, like it was over. I heard one news site say it was over a parking spot. Another person said it was because my dad was making some type of advance towards the woman.
This shooting remains under investigation. That woman was not arrested. No charges have been filed, and the case will be passed over to the state attorney's office for review.
So that report makes it look like the guy just walked toward her and she shot. It's not quite that simple. When I say that he advanced twice, this second report will give us a clearer understanding of what that actually looks like.
Take a look at this dash cam video. That's the woman with the gun on the left, getting out of her car, holding a phone in her left hand and a gun in her right. A witness tells 7 News that moments before this, she'd gotten into an argument over that space with the man we see in that cell phone video. In fact, the witness says the man parked his white SUV like this, blocking the space, but minutes later he moved. She then pulls into the space, and according to the witness, she spoke briefly to the people in that white Honda, who the witness says told her the man was still in the parking lot. Then you see him, 62-year-old Bart DeGuglielmo, walking up to her. She points the gun, and for at least 30 seconds they exchange words. At one point, he follows her as she walks around another car, still pointing the gun. He appears to walk away, but immediately comes back, and she fires. All this time, it appears she's still on the phone. He remains conscious on the ground as one car stops, but then keeps going. Then a second car behind them. For more than 2 minutes, pedestrians and cars go by. The man was alternately sitting up and lying down, but he would later die at the hospital. Deputies arrived roughly 3 minutes after the shooting, and that woman, we're told, is claiming self-defense.
Okay, so it's entirely possible that guy had some valid reason to block the space momentarily, and it's entirely possible that the black woman became unreasonably angry.
It's never happened before.
Entirely possible the guy is right in the argument of words, but where he loses the moral and perhaps legal ground is when he starts advancing toward her physically, which, again, he did twice. For whatever we can offer for the first time, he advances toward her. She has the gun pointed and is saying something to the effect of "get away from me," and moving back. She's going around other cars. He's pursuing her. Then he leaves. Then he comes back. Okay, you've now advanced physically twice. Now, did he present a threat credible enough for use of lethal force, that's going to be the legal question for the district attorney that the DA is evaluating right now. Point of fact, the guy who was shot dead, Bart, was unarmed at the time. You could see at one point he did have his hands up. He did not present a weapon himself. But this woman, whether her initial point on the parking spot was justified or not, she did give this guy plenty of time before pulling that trigger. And whether she's justified in the initial point matters too, because as a legal matter, you can't just point a gun at somebody without justification either. That itself would be a crime if you didn't have a reasonable fear of death or great bodily harm against you. So did this guy present that? This is why it's kind of a legal she's retreating from him because she's afraid of him, but maybe he's pissed off because she pointed the gun, and maybe she pointed the gun too early without technical legal justification.
So that I was going to ask you about. Is it legal? Like, obviously, if out in public and I point a gun at someone, that's illegal.
Yeah. Yes.
Is she allowed to? Because there's a heated argument going on. Like, I can't imagine in any. I don't know. It just seems very unlikely. Like, you and I could be yelling at each other, having an argument, and then that justifies me taking out a gun, and then escalates from there. Like, yeah. I'm trying to see both sides of this, where I don't know if she was right to pull it out in the first place. And the question aside of, is it a justified shooting or not? This is more advice than commentary. If someone pulls out a gun or a knife, just get the hell out of there.
The guy did walk away from the pointed gun. He walked away from her pointing. Now, the question about when you're justified to point, what Florida law has to say about this, I'm not a lawyer in Florida. Consult your favorite Florida criminal defense attorney or self-defense attorney. But generally speaking, like pulling the trigger itself, to point a gun at someone, which is an assault itself without justification, you need to have reasonable fear for either death or great bodily harm, a felony integrity. It's going to come. It all comes down to what a jury considers a reasonable person's fear. It's not just her saying, I was afraid. It's whether a jury considers the reaction reasonable. If I was arguing for her, I would say, look, this is a woman who has a man approaching her with hostile intent multiple times. Mm-hmm. That's why she pointed. She didn't want a physical confrontation. This guy was advancing on her physically, and under Florida law, as far as I understand, with their stand their ground law, it is not her job to run away. It is not her job to wait until he has realized a fatal threat against her. She has the right to stand her ground and defend herself, including the pointing of a gun when she has a reasonable fear for her safety in the form of a threat to her life or great bodily injury. Now, I on the other side, for that guy, is just walking towards someone, that sort of threat. That's where this is very messy. But it's incredibly stupid. Like, that guy died a very stupid death. Yeah, whatever the argument was, you could have walked away, as demonstrated by the fact that you did.
Yeah. Well, it's the is walking towards someone threatening?
Can be. It depends on what was said too.
Me, the way if ignoring all the context of me holding a gun, if that guy walked towards me the way he did to her, I would not assume it was threatening. However, if I had a gun pointed at him and then he's willing to come at me, I have to assume, like, in what world is he not going to assault me?
Yeah, you wonder if this could end up in a strange legal scenario where the point is not justified, but the shot is, which is kind of where you're going.
I think, here's the thing. I think we both want self-defense laws to be generous enough where you are going to have ambiguous cases where you go, maybe that shot was totally unnecessary. Maybe it was bullshit, but I think it is better to err on the side of allowing a lot, as opposed to a situation where people are waiting to get hit before they take a shot. So,
I would agree.
But this also, I was just reminded a few weeks ago that the Chud the Builder case, like, if this is self-defense, this Chud the Builder case is 1,000,000% self-defense as well. And, it is also BS. There is sort of this inequality here, although obviously it's different states and all that, but still.
Yeah. So this is going to be a fascinating case to watch, and I certainly will. I'll see how this develops. Again, as of now, no charges filed, investigation ongoing with the DA. But I do want to emphasize that point in closing and in summary. Just don't walk toward pointed guns if you have the option of turning around and walking away. This guy did. He tried walking toward the pointed gun twice. You don't have to do that. Now, I also will say I reserve my right to change my opinion based on additional information that comes out here.
For sure.
If it could be shown that, say, the black woman got out of the car and yelled some kind of threat at the guy, or herself presented some sort of unreasonable aggression upon him, which is why he was acting the way he was, it would change the calculation. I'm not sure what exactly that would be, again, given the fact that he had an extended period of time to walk away from a pointed gun. Yeah. But you never know. A lot of this case depends on what was said between. Did someone make a threat? Did someone say, I'm going to kill you? Something like that. We just don't know until we get more clarity on what exactly that interaction was.
Yeah, we will see.
All right.
But no, just words to the wise: do not die over a parking spot. It's way too embarrassing of a reason to die.
You don't have to fight over parking spots, because if you park up close to the store like that, you know what's going to happen? It might not be as bad as getting shot, but you're going to get a door ding put in your car, and that will be incredibly infuriating. I can't stand those. So just do what I do and park at the very far end of the parking lot and get your steps in for the day. Yeah. And enjoy your walk to the storefront and enjoy your pristine car doors that are not dinged. Because, by the way, the same sort of person who's going to shoot you dead in a parking lot is the same sort of person who's going to ding your car. You want to stay away